Welcome back to Analog Horror Nights. How are all you vital idols doing? Oh, well, you got to turn on the chat. Gotta turn on the chat. Y'all can't even see yourselves. Sorry about that. Yeah, SNH ran real late tonight. Sorry about that. But it was a great show. A lot of yelling, so hopefully you guys are into that shit. But it's time to wind down and get a little spooky. We got something interesting tonight, man. The Glendale Archives. I had not heard of this one. I found it by complete accident, and it's relatively new. So I don't know if it's finished or not. And they do longer videos, so we'll be able to break this one up into like a saga, which is something I really enjoyed doing. It's something that we did with several of these, like Midwest Angelica. So needless to say, we're only going to do the first 2 episodes tonight, because the first one alone is almost half an hour, and the second one's about 15 minutes. So yeah, this reaction, this analog horror stuff, I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting series. Before we do that, we gotta see who all's here. We gotta say what up to the boys in chat. Jackass G22 is here. Also, by the way, guys, sorry that I set the stream up for the wrong time. I was in quite the rush to get everything going before SNH. Jackass G22's St. Hugo, Zelozy, Eagle Lord is here, Matt Stanford, Gauk, Harryman, PK, the one and only, what is up? Seabrew, Scotty G is here, Fractal Mage, Cliff420, Secret Final Boss, Matt Stanford, if I didn't call you out, I'm calling you out now. Toxins is Hypno's fault. No, actually, it was probably more like me and Will's fault. We dominated that stream. It was probably unhealthy, but it was great. It was fun. Alex Darby, shout out. Mr. Blue Cthulhu, Zart41, the true Aztec Warrior is up in this bitch. You'll love to see it. Nick Havoc is here. Jake motherfucking Martin, the Blue Octopusu Woo. I can't believe I just did that. Free Flow 228, what is up? UAF Omega, Little Miss Anonymous, say me, yo! The late and gay, Leon. I did my best. Which is why we're just going to jump right into it. Let's get going. I got to turn my camera on. There we go. Now, this is the Glendale Archives. From all I know is that this is about a dude who is woken up and he is the last man on Earth. And this first episode is called The Nesters Found Me. The Nesters. It's a real interesting terminology. So let's make my head a little bit smaller here. That way we can see things proper like. There we go. And we'll move me up here. Alright. Y'all ready for some analog horror? Y'all ready for some analog horror? Let's go.
All right, day 8 of squatting in this house. It's been really nice, actually. I've been able to sleep.
This is interesting. It's as if we're supposed to know, but this is 3 months ago, and this is the first video. This is the first video. Elmer of the 2-banger, Last Man on Earth. Sounds peaceful. You're telling me. Interesting. 2 months ago, 3. All right, we'll start with this one. This is the one that says it's the oldest. Let's roll with it. Thank you for the 2-banger, homie. Truly appreciate you. Yes,
all right,
lights.
day 8 of squatting in this house. It's been really nice, actually. I've been able to sleep, shower, recharge. I even managed to get the electricity up and running. Not sure for how long. That means I have a working oven, which is really great. I try not to turn on any lights, especially at night, because I don't want to attract any attention to this house. But last night I messed up like an idiot. I leaned against the light switch and I turned on the living room lights, and the house lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. Just for a second. And now this morning I see someone out in the woods.
So, the premise is he's the last person on Earth for whatever reason. We don't know why, but obviously there is the Nesters. I mean, that's what this is called. The Nesters found me. So this is some sort of he's aware there's creatures there. Now I don't know how much he knows that we don't know, but Yeah, this is it's starting us off kind of in the more so monsters I would assume because the nesters plural. Um, I wonder if this is supposed to be out of sequence, kind of like how Tarantino does a lot of his movies. Let's keep going.
Lurking around.
Oh,
Yeah, I see you.
yo, that's a cool design. Okay, all right.
It could just be passing by. It could be nothing, but
How's he editing these videos? Just occurred to me. He's filming this, then he splices that in there. How's he editing these videos?
it could just be passing by. It could be nothing, but makes me nervous. I haven't seen him in a few hours, but it really makes me uneasy. So tonight, in addition to cooking my favorite meal, chicken parm, I'll be battening down the hatches, tightening the security, just in case whatever is out there isn't just passing through.
Do I think I would survive as the last man on Earth? Hell no.
First, I need
I
to
mean,
wrap-
like, for a few weeks, maybe a couple months, whatever. Not very long. Like you go so stir crazy, you'd find a way to just end it all.
Get some groceries, so let's do that.
The Nester chicken parm. Okay, so I don't know how much of this is for us, the viewer, because again, back to the editing, we're hearing this music, and I like this music. It's nice liminal music, which really accompanies this liminal vibe we've got going on here. In terms of the empty spaces, we're not seeing really him in the spaces because he's the one recording. But by the same token, did he edit this music in, or is that for us, the audience? And this place has
Power.
oh, he's about to say okay.
Power's on in here. That's good.
El
Let's-
Murdoch with a two-banger says chicken parm. Odd choice in Apocalypse. Yeah, right? Chicken parm is a very heavy meal. If you need to run away from shit, like, you don't want that chicken parm carb backloading you.
See, we need a few different things.
Audio's good for both myself and the stream, right, guys? And the video? Thing is going for that tranquil 28 days vibe. Yeah, actually that's my favorite scene in the entire movie. 28 Days Later, when it's playing that song. I'm blanking on the name of the song. But the one where they're running through the grocery store and they're having fun. Like, that is my favorite scene in that entire movie.
You never know.
Traps and security. Okay.
So as I mentioned, I need to prioritize security in this house tonight. I've identified about 3 weak points where an intruder could breach our defense.
El Murdoch for a two-banger. 28 days. Scene Jim turns on candle in his house. He turns on the candle in his house. Doesn't he see his parents, like, dead on the sofa or on the bed or whatnot? You would think I would know this because I rewatched it within the last 6 months or so for Niat's stream, and I've seen the movie a bajillion times. Yeah, it's his. I know he's his parents dead, but I'm trying to remember how, like, are they sleeping together on the bed or were they sitting on the couch? I was trying to remember, like, literally, because I remember his parents being together in their final moments. But yeah, that's a great
each
scene.
requires its own special security system, if you will. Weak zone number 1
They're on the bed.
is
Okay, thank
the
you.
furnace room window. There's no lock on this window, so I've set up a tripwire. And about 7 feet 6 inches away, the average height of a nester, I've strategically positioned.
The average height of a nester. So he's encountered these things before. He's clearly aware that they're out there. And he must have survived a while. He's like, there's got to be some backstory as to why he knows how to do things like set up tripwires. I'm wondering who this guy is and how he's been able to survive, because there's got to be more to his story. Hey, Jake with a 10 banger. Thanks for making this happen every week, dude. Appreciate you. No, I love doing it to you guys. Like, I love doing the pop culture stuff. I do. It's my favorite thing, covering video games, covering anime. But I also know that everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a break. And I think the analog horror is such a great way to do that. It's this perfect, beautiful form of escapism. They could also still give us some heebie-jeebies. And who doesn't like being scared?
Positioned a knife.
Thank you for the 10
upright.
banger, by the way, brother.
When triggered, the tripwire will send the blade straight into the upper chest or the face. Weak zone 2, the basement door. Now, the house is settled pretty unevenly, making this door impossible to keep locked. If a nester enters through here, they'll hear a tape recorder in the next room playing my voice saying the following.
Don't hurt me. Don't come in here, please.
The recording will lure them deeper inside, right into a sensor-triggered assault. Weak zone 3, the porch passage door. Now this leads directly into the same basement door with the broken locks. When someone opens this porch door, the friction will strike matches against an igniter that I've rigged. And the matches will ignite a portable gas tank that's been slowly leaking.
So far, this guy, I have more questions about this guy's backstory as to how he knows to do all this shit than I actually have questions about why he's the last person on Earth, or why he is the, or what these nesters are. I'm there's no way this dude's like ex-special forces or something like that. He sounds like a prepper. Okay, because yeah, I was thinking military, but he doesn't look military. Prepper is a good thought. Prepper's a good thought, Mervoth. Well done. Yo, shout out to Scotty G with a 5 banger. Good idea, Jake. Money for the tip jar. Thanks, Leon. No, thank you guys. I don't deserve it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it. Why is he filming this? Well, if I had to wager a guess, if he is the last person on... If I had to wager a guess, he doesn't know he's the last person on Earth. He knows he's the last person wherever this is. But maybe just for a record, if there are, turns out, other survivors, other people, so that it can be found in case he doesn't make it.
Gas all night, so hopefully burning any nester who tries to breach that passageway. And I've also installed noisemakers on all the door handles, so hopefully I'll hear them coming, and I'll see them coming, and that these traps will keep them out. And I'll be able to sleep safely tonight.
Nightfall and dinner. Okay. That's another good answer, Jake. True. Okay, so we got...
Alright, I'm gonna fillet the chicken now.
Okay, good technique.
Alright, now I'm gonna tenderize it.
We don't really need to do
This
that.
ensures
but...
that the chicken is gonna be nice and even all the way around. We're gonna put some of this chicken in flour so it absorbs some of the moisture.
You really should probably do an egg wash, but...
So the crispiness will stick on.
Yeah, Tiger King, I don't know if you're joking or not, but like, that is... Why is they called nesters? That is an excellent question.
Oh.
Granola Grand, I thought you were actually about to spoil shit, you dirty bastard. Okay, so he's doing an egg wash. Should have done the egg wash before the flour, but okay.
Next, we'll dip the chicken in the egg batter.
Unless he's doing flour, egg wash, more flour. That would also be acceptable. That would also be acceptable. I beat you to it, Razor off.
Now it's time for what makes the chicken good. And go.
Okay, alright. He used the correct process. Flour, egg wash, panko, breadcrumbs. All right, never mind. I take back what I was saying about his cooking. He's doing it right.
The panko makes it like a chicken katsu. Some grated parm. That's going to caramelize really nicely on the chicken. Now some salt and pepper. Let's mix this all up.
Yeah, I love to cook, Zach. My favorite hobby.
And now in the chicken goes.
Well, the prepper in you says you're dying, to make simple meals. Remember, he found that grocery store that had active, it still had electricity and whatnot. So, I mean, he's got it effectively a full stock and range of ingredients. So, I mean, why not use it while you got it? Yes, we're watching an upload order, Serranos. I've come to the conclusion that they are filmed out of order, but that's yeah, I'm watching an upload order.
All right, now it is time to fry these bad boys up. It's not good to add the oil over an open flame, but I don't know, I feel like I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get this oil nice and hot. Now you know the oil's ready when you dip the chicken in.
I really like that because this is a 30-minute video, and there's way more videos in this series. Nothing particularly scary has happened yet. It's really just all atmosphere of what it's like to be the last guy on Earth. And I think that's setting up a false sense of security. It's lulling us into a position of just like trying to get in the shoes of what it would be like to be this last guy, and we almost forget we're in a horror scenario.
It sizzles.
And watching the window is probably a
Is
good
that
call.
ready? That is ready. I'm actually going to lower the heat. That's insane.
Hey, what up, Sammy?
Now, personally, I like when it's very golden brown. I don't like when it's too pale. I like when it's
Yes, that is correct for chicken parm. Yes, exactly. Like the Will Smith character didn't get the monsters like 30 minutes in. And I Am Legend, yeah. And prepping is smart, Eagle Lord. Everyone should be a prepper. I need to be better about prepping, honestly.
All right, so let's get ready to broil the mozzarella cheese.
Oh, he's even. You know what? I don't want this guy to die. I've come to the conclusion. I like him. He knows to broil the cheese topping afterwards. I respect this motherfucker.
All right, here we go. Now I'm going to throw this into the oven and broil it.
Yeah, fun cooking fact, guys. If you've ever got a cheese topping on your meats, you broil for the 3 to 5 minutes afterwards, depending on the type of cheese. Just fun. You always want to broil the cheese. You get that nice melted plus crispy consistency.
I figured while the chicken parm is cooking, I'm going to set up my sleeping quarters for the night, make a fire, set up my sleeping bag. I was sleeping in the living room before, but to be honest, it's too far from an exit. And given that there was that stranger outside earlier, makes sense to be close to the exit, in case anything happens. It makes it convenient, Kitchen's right here, can make a midnight snack. So I'm gonna set up the fire for the evening. 3-layer base.
No, I said a topping. Cheese isn't really a topping when it comes to burgers. Oh, yeah.
so hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm so
He's
hungry.
been letting it broil a bit too long.
Full moon tonight.
Like, again, you only want a 3 to 5 minute broil.
And we can't forget the sauce. This particular sauce I found, it's called Michael's of Brooklyn. Tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, Italian olive oil, oregano, fresh parsley, salt, black pepper, and nothing else, it says in big exclamation points. You can't read that.
He probably should have been doing the sauce first, honestly, and just brought it to a simmer and just let it stay warm while stirring occasionally and then done the chicken, but that's, you know, whatever. Wouldn't the fireplace be another point entry? Not really. I mean, it depends on how big the chimney is. No, not really.
Soggy. And of course, last but not least, basil.
Basil's good.
And that is it.
Yeah, basil's good. I mean, you could also use thyme, but basil's good there.
I'm so hungry. Let's see how this tastes. It's amazing. I have not had chicken pie in forever.
The constant talking to himself really makes it seem like he's wanting to just maintain his own sanity.
All that walking around today got me hungry. That guy really freaked me out outside. I think that anxiety just takes a lot out of me. I'm glad I made 2.
That's a good idea, Razor Off.
There's like nothing like really good chicken parm. So you really have to tenderize it and flatten it out so it becomes
And
more
most
like
of these
a
solo
chicken.
survival shit, speaking to yourself is better than silence. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It absolutely. There's a psychological effect. Just hearing a voice, even if it's your own voice, it keeps your social, cognitive functions, the whole 9. Yeah.
Cutlet. I haven't got like restaurants where you go and you get the chicken and or any dish and it's like not good. It's like you should be losing sleep to make sure that your chicken is flavorful. You go to a chicken place and like the skin comes off the chicken, all the flavors on top, it's in the skin. And then like with chicken itself is just like bland.
My rate on his cooking, well, obviously I can't taste it. His process was mostly correct, but he should have done the sauce before the chicken. But yeah, I mean, I would say if I had to wager a guess, probably about a 7.
No. What are you doing? I do miss restaurants. I miss people
6. He
cooking
used a store-bought sauce instead of making his own. I'm gonna drop it down to a 6.
for me.
What up, Rick?
Glad I learned a few recipes. Got this at the supermarket.
What up, Ed Victoria?
Oh. Man, I'm lonely tonight. Particularly
Oh, do not turn this into a self-jerk-off video, buddy. You don't need that.
Just sort of missing some camaraderie, I think. I tell you what I don't miss about people right now. It's feeling in debt to people. You know, emotionally more than anything.
Yeah, but I see, when he says stuff like that, I can't imagine he's been on his own here long. Because that's one of those things that would feel good for a while, but you would almost beg for that just because it's some form of human interaction once you've gone so long without it. So just based on the way he's saying that, I don't think he has been in this situation where he's the last man on Earth for very long.
You know, being predator to other people's unresolved issues, feeling
How did the video
obligated
start?
to give
It started just in the middle of him being the last person on Earth. We don't actually know. The story is being told out of narratives, out of sequence.
my time. I always would put boundaries around my time. And sometimes I felt like I had
Yeah,
to
a few days.
lie
Yeah,
to
I was thinking no more than a week. Like, no more than a week.
people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it, you know? That's what I always hated about having a job. There was always
Yeah,
this
right
sense
now,
that
to our knowledge, he thinks he's the only person left. He might be the only human left, but there is some sort of at least one monster, and probably multiple because he refers to them plurally. He says nesters. So there are creatures out there, but no other people.
when you work for someone, they expect you to they expect to squeeze every bit of time they can out of you because they're paying you, and they're not going to pay you for nothing. You know, there are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you. They assume that if you need the job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because
No, it
after
wasn't,
all,
because we saw it up and moving. It was spliced in up and moving, which, again, still begs the question how he's editing these, but we also don't know when this is. Like, this is recorded, but I don't see any, because a lot of times when you're using a video camera, it'll have the, you know, the date, the time, all that. We don't see that, so that's also been edited out. And to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it, that's assuming he's the one doing the editing. We actually don't know. This could be recovered footage. Like, someone else could have found this and spliced it all together. So we might not even be looking at his work. Description might have a date. Okay, we'll check the description after this.
I don't miss that. Money created this like really sick relationship with other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap, and it's really hard to escape. You know, I used to hate having a boss breathe down my neck. Ugh.
Although, to be fair,
work an
you guys
8-hour
are kind of my boss, but also not.
And honestly, I'd probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy.
You know, I will say, there's 2 different types of analog horror I've noticed. Well, obviously, there's multiple types, but there's 2 types that I really enjoy. There's these ones that are very obviously live action. The reason I bring this up is Fractal Mage made me think about it. There's the ones that are very obviously live action, but they're made to look old, faded, like found footage from the 90s, the 80s, things like that. And there's the ones that use Blender to fake everything. And I really like the Blender ones because there's a sense of uncanny valley about them. You know, they're supposed to be humans, but they're off at a distance, and like their faces are a little weird and stuff, even if they're regular humans. You know, because like it's Blender. And then you got ones like this that feel just very home movie and realistic. The whole thing has been out of sync. That's interesting. It's not out of sync for me. Let me see. I'll refresh it and see if it's out of sync for you guys. One sec. There we go.
You know, I used to hate having a boss
Is it still out of
breathe
sync?
down my neck. Ugh.
Catch you later, Jack.
I'd work an 8-hour shift, and honestly, I'd probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk
That's really weird. It's
around
not out
with
of sync on my end at all. For me too? Huh. The voice is like a second behind?
clipboard, pretending to be busy.
Give me 1 sec. Let me see if it's like that on like my TV. 1 moment.
I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive.
I'm muted. Sorry. No, it's not intentional because I'm watching it and it's not out of sync. Gotta be a Discord thing. Might be a delay in the processing. Well, I had my virtual camera on, which I don't need the virtual camera on for streaming directly from OBS. Although that would have made stuff out of sync from last night as well. I used virtual camera for StreamYard for Leon. Thought it was just a creative choice to reveal the apocalypse were all out of sync. Nope. It's an issue of some sort. Let me see if I can find a fix for it. Let's see. Display capture, game capture. Bear with me, crew.
And honestly,
So I definitely don't want this viewing experience to be bad for you guys.
sick relation.
Okay. How about now? Let me know if it's still out of sync.
With other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap, and it's really hard to doing something, even when the real work only took like 2 hours. You know, if they catch you sitting, they get pissed, even if
Still
there's
off.
nothing left to do.
What about when I use this right here? When I do it from this screen, is it still out of sync?
So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't, you know. So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys, because I mean, I assume you want to continue. It's up to you. If you guys don't want to do it like this, then I completely understand. I'm at a loss as to why it would be out of sync. Doesn't bother you? All right, that's good to know. Yeah, as long as the chat consensus is that we keep going, then we'll keep going. So I don't want to give you guys a bad show. It's fine. Keep going. All right, cool. We'll keep going.
They'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease. Makes no sense. It's like they need to see struggle to feel justified in paying you. So, I pretended, because if I didn't, I'd get shit for it, you know? And life is already hard enough, you know? You don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient, you know? Yeah, I know. If I said that to an employer or a business owner, they'd probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But, I mean, come on, man. Do you expect me to care about
I've also had that thought. He looks like Adam Scott. You're not alone, Scotty G.
Plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here? Yeah. Now, I know it wasn't my boss, you know, personally. But it was what he represented, you know, it was the whole system.
I take back what I said about wanting this guy to live. Look, yeah, you make good food, fair enough. But you're speaking some real commie shit right now. So now I don't care if you die.
Built so, like, rich people could get richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time. And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact, but that isn't realistic though, so.
So you say he whines a little too much, and maybe he does. I don't like what he's whining about. I don't like what he's whining about. But him whining and whatnot, I think that the him venting is more. I think that him venting is more just supposed to be, again, a symbol that he needs some sort of something to keep his sanity. All right, I just changed some settings, by the way. Hopefully that'll fix the delay. But yeah, exactly. El Mervoth, I agree. The venting is better than silence. Now, the subject matter itself, I don't like. Because, again, gives me fucking commie vibes. Hippy-dippy bullshit. But maybe him just being able to let all this out is just some sort of maintaining sanity. He can finally say all this stuff that he never really could say before. There's not going to be any consequence for it. And that is, in and of itself, enough to keep him psychologically, on the straight and narrow.
As much as I miss my family, they kept asking me to get a cell phone. I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, Because once they knew I had a phone, I'd be available to them all the time. And I don't want...
Bro's the last human on the planet, and he's still bitching about the rich. Yeah, he sounds like... Well, he's now talking about the cell phone thing. That kind of gives us an idea of the time frame, at least. If his family's bitching at him to get a cell phone, you're looking like late 90s, early 2000s, if I had to wager a guess. It's synced up now? Cool. I just changed the bitrate. All right, cool.
I want to be available to people all the time. Sometimes I'd even lie. I'd say, I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer. And, maybe that's selfish. Maybe I just, didn't want to talk. Maybe I just wanted to be left alone. Getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want that. Just like, it's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person. I don't know, that's a...
Okay, well, I don't like all the commie nonsense he was bitching about earlier. That part is true. Like, the idea that now, just because it's not natural doesn't mean it's not good and cool. That sort of thing is what leads to things like what we're doing right now, streaming, having these communications. But he is right. It is not natural to have immediate communication with humans no matter where they're at.
At least what I think. And I know it probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, why don't you just say no if they ask? But I don't know. Sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said I wasn't available, they want a reason. And maybe the reason is I just, I don't want to talk right now, Or I was planning to watch a movie. It sounds small, but it wasn't to me. Just it wasn't. Maybe that's...
I also, so we can tell he hasn't been here long, right? Because his facial hair is still relatively fine. His psychology, he seems pretty psychologically stable. But also, he's been here long enough to fully accept he is the last guy on Earth. He's talking about the past tense with such ease. I think he's probably been here about a week, if I had to wager a guess.
What I needed, Feels like modern day communication was the thief of life. Now, after a long day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, relax. Just relax. But saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason to fall short of somebody else's expectations. Even though it should have been. So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to protect that time, I did.
Alfredo, do not listen to Jake Martin. He's wrong. It is not, Last Man on Earth makes chicken parmesan and waxes philosophical. It is Last Man on Earth makes chicken parmesan and waxes pseudo-philosophical.
Because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace. And I know that's avoidant. Maybe that was life challenging me to grow, but sometimes I just don't want to grow. Sometimes I just want to rest. Defeats the purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it. Sometimes I want to say no to the challenge. Put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant.
So yeah, I just had another thought. What this is probably doing, there's going to be a stark contrast when we get into later videos. Right now, it's obvious he is happy that there's no one around. This is freedom for him. It's almost like he got his wish without realizing how bad it actually would be to be a forced hermit, effectively. So it's like a monkey's paw wish kind of thing. Once we get further into this and he's been on his own longer, he's going to regret every bit of wishing for something like this. Now, I don't know that it's literally a wish. His wish came true. But what I mean is that's his mentality.
Again, because it's impossible. And maybe it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, I don't want to see. My unhealthy desire to numb, my avoidance. Maybe it's showing me something deep.
By the way, the guy's a good actor. I forget. I genuinely forgot that we were watching something that's completely scripted. It's coming off very natural, so that's another plus to this series. Sorry if I just broke the immersion for you guys to bring that up, but it just occurred to me.
I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to. And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to. At least, and maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time because it's easier to.
Is there a rustling sound in the background besides the fire? Hold on, I'm gonna go back a sec. Listen real close, and tell me if you guys hear what seems to be a rustling sound. Maybe maybe it's auditory pareidolia.
Use my time because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me, get to know me. Some days the self-hatred really runs so deep, and I still can't.
Okay, El Mervoth says slight shift in sound. It sounded different than fire crackling. Maybe it's just the fire crackling, but it sounded like there was an additional bit of sound besides the fire crackling. It sounded like there was some sort of quiet scratching, but maybe it was just the fire.
I can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me. It's safer to believe that everybody.
Yes. Eagle Lord. That's a better. Not scratching. A branch snapping. That's what I heard as well. It sounded like branches or something snapping. I think I heard as well. I did hear something different. Okay. I'm glad to know that I'm not crazy. It's subtle, but it's the cracking of weeds or small branches or something. Cool. Maybe him sliding out of the sleeping bag. Maybe that's it. But the point is, it's not the fire. There was an additional sound.
Is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection. I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. You know, if something bad happened, I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone. And with nowhere to let it out. Build up over years and years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began or how to talk about it, you know? People would ask me, what's wrong? I'd just say, I don't know.
You know, I was thinking that earlier, Deadline Trikey, about him not grabbing some sort of weapon. Obviously, he's using that butcher knife for the tripwire, which does make sense. But there should be other forms of weapons in this house. Now, you might not want to use a gun. You might not want to search for a gun because you don't know if the nesters are attracted, like, to sound. You don't know if one gunshot will attract more. So you probably want something silent like a knife. But surely, I mean, he was making the chicken parm. So obviously he's got more knives. Well, we don't know if gun's a good option. Yeah, I'll carry him on.
And I used to tell myself that when
Crossbow.
the pain gets great, when it gets great enough, I'll share. I didn't want to bother anybody. Just felt like, you know, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet. And then one day, my brother died. And I still...
Well, first of all, they're called suppressors, Eagle Lord, and also, suppressors don't actually make them silent. Suppressors don't... They're not like in the movies.
couldn't share the pain. That excuse to keep putting it off, it's bottomless. It won't end until I make a beginning. And that loneliness, it just breeds anger, blame, bitterness. I'd given anything to let that go. I just didn't know how.
That time, obvious. So after he said didn't know how to let that go, obvious there was something there. I heard something. I'm not going crazy. Listen to this back. After he says I didn't know how to let that go, listen, there's a rustling.
I just didn't know how. So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, you know? I'm not disturbed. So anyway, I have my affirmation that I tell myself every day, and preparing me for when I see other people again. And it goes like this: I am likable and I attract genuine connection. So, I say that to myself every day. Pretty good, right? But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces. Resentment, worry, doubt, fear. Giving my time.
I've been holding my senses. Leon, he's going to connect with something. Clip that and send it to Craigslist misconnections. Likeable is a strong word. Yeah, no. If you're talking about the bump, if you guys are talking about that bump that sounded like someone coming down a staircase or like a bump on the side of some house siding, I heard that as well. I didn't pause it because that one seemed audible enough that I figured you guys all heard it as well. But yes, I heard it too.
Forced me to confront all of that. And it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer. So yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not a good that's doing me now.
Heard
That's
it
really
again.
Because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried. Anyway.
All right, the music's playing again. I don't think that music is atmosphere, or I don't think that music is him. Like he's not editing this in. I think someone found these tapes and they edited this together. That's what I think the story of this is gonna be. I bet this dude's dead. I bet Homeboy is dead. Someone found these and they put it all together.
That's it. time to hit the hay. Oh, it's been a long day. That was a tasty meal. Gotta have 2 chins. Oh. All right. See you in the morning.
$2:36 a.m.
What am I seeing right now? That's fire. That's definitely fire.
What the fuck? All right, what's going on here? Nester fell for the ignition trap. Nester fell for the ignition trap. All right, let's go. That was cool. That was cool. Okay, let's look at the description real quick. Oh. No, okay. I don't want to. Those were immersion breaking. I don't want to read those from now on. Okay, so that was the Nesters Found Me. We'll do Mental Decay, The Cost of Survival, because that's hypothetically the next one, if we're going in upload order.
Man, I'm lonely tonight.
Oh, wait, what?
Still trying to keep buried. Anyway.
All right, well, these are ordered very strangely. All right, so we'll do this one.
Okay. Day 4, squatting in this abandoned house. I haven't seen another person in 81 days. A couple days ago, I decided to suit up and head north into the surrounding hills. All right, we're heading out, so I hope I don't die. I found a map here, barely intact, but enough to help me navigate what was ahead. Man, it is very chilly out today. I also keep my CB radio set to
Yeah, see, this one's even more highly edited. Yeah, I'm still stuck. I don't believe it's him doing that.
directional and gives me some warning if there's some danger within 5 miles. So if I hear anything, I change course. Yeah, I don't trust that. So
That was
definitely
interesting.
gonna veer in a different direction.
Okay. I know it says their found footage blew out the pussy will, but here's the dealio. The way YouTube works, found footage can just be a thing that you put in your title for algorithmic purposes. So saying that it's found footage, it doesn't necessarily mean that for story purposes that's actually found footage. That could just mean stylistically. I'm talking about the actual internal narrative. Like, that, so that we're clear.
The map led me to 3 different locations: the mall, an underground concourse, and some type of museum. Places that used to be crowded. Yeah. The suburbs are empty, that's for sure. Rows of houses, all vacant, so I thought,
That's
if
deep,
anybody's
Jake.
still out there, they'd be here.
I was thinking, with it being found footage, whoever found it did the edits, labeled it as found footage, but that's my... No, well, and you might be right, but if they labeled it as such, that means there's another survivor out there, at least one, and that means they have access to power, electricity, the whole nine. That means they have access to editing materials. So if this is actually someone else finding this footage and editing it, then that is an implication of there being a deeper meaning of the narrative. Now, mind you, I agree with you. That's what I think is happening. But it also could just mean found footage as a... I'm not discounting the possibility there's using found footage in the title as a genre so that people know what they're getting into. So that's what I'm trying to... When I bring up whether we don't know or not if someone else edited these videos, that's what I mean. We don't actually have any clear indication as to whether it's found footage genre or if this is literally supposed to be within the narrative, someone else found this footage.
When I reached the first location, I felt pretty optimistic.
No, we have no idea, Rick.
So far, not very promising. Unfortunately, I think this place is pretty empty. There's not much here. It really puts me on edge that I can
What up,
see
Zax?
everything, and there's really no place to hide here.
He seems a lot more frazzled in this video, which makes sense. Again, they're released out of order, out of sequence. So what we saw in the previous episode, he was clearly much further into his journey. He seems pretty on edge right now. And yes, it does really lean into the liminality. You're correct.
Let me go see if I can find out where that sound is coming from.
It's interesting that all these places still have power. And why him? Why is he the last person? Agreed, Jake.
Alright, let's see if any of these doors lead to a bunker full of custodians. I don't know. These are all locked. wish I had some quarters.
That's the point. Broken cow. Yeah, that's very liminal sort of.
Can't believe these are still running.
Base, Night of the Comet reference.
Little helicopter. Man, this like really makes me hungry because there's a food court here. Makes me think of like Nathan's hot dogs or something. I could really go for one. Don't think that's gonna happen. No offense, but this looks like a shitty place to work in its day.
No, Broken Cow, we're still trying to figure out what we're watching. Since you've only been here, I don't remember if you've been to these or not. We do analog horror nights every Saturday night around this time. And it's a different analog horror thing every Saturday. So this is our first time watching this. We honestly have no idea. But welcome.
At least I see.
You're good,
no
homie. You're good.
nesters. We're getting closer.
Okay, so at this point, the music is definitely within the video. He's hearing some. All right, so this is definitely different compared to the previous video where the music seemed edited in. Now, whether it was edited in for us as the audience or by some sort of third party because it's found footage, can't say. But he's hearing this currently.
Seems like where it's coming from.
That is an interesting point, Jake. All the infrastructure still functioning is happening to this specific person for a reason. Yeah. Eagle Lord, I'm not here to talk about me right now. We're here to dissect the video.
There's absolutely nothing in there. That was a recording of someone who I think has been here in the past.
See, I don't think it's purgatory. Oh, you said like purgatory. Okay. Because, like, if it was purgatory, there'd be no need for the video camera. Somebody else wouldn't have found the footage, spliced all of it together. But, yeah, like purgatory, you're probably exactly right. No voices yet, Melva Sky, but that doesn't mean there won't be any.
I spent around an hour and a half exploring the mall. It was getting pretty late, and I needed to keep moving. I also saw a figure that I've encountered before moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout.
Whoa.
Encountered before, and I needed to keep moving. I also saw a figure that I've encountered.
Okay. He is remarkably fucking calm about that. Dude, at that distance. And he is that tall. That thing gotta be like 8, 9 foot fucking tall, dude. At least.
Encountered before, moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout.
Like look at this. You fucking what, mate? Nah. Boogie on out. Deuces.
He sounds harmless, but I don't know, something in me just doesn't trust it. Right now,
You don't fucking say. Dude, it's some like 9 foot tall shadow figure just stalking you through a world with no other people. I don't trust it. No shit, Shaggy.
next stop is a series of underground tunnels called Concourse B. I expected public transit, trains connecting nearby towns. But instead, I found passageways linking offices, food courts, state buildings, things like that. With the parking structures below, it must have been packed with workers at some point moving beneath the city.
Oh, I'm so hungry. You can get really cornered in one of those kitchens, or else I'd fry up a deluxe.
I mean, he's got a good mental wherewithal. That's a good point. You don't want to go into the kitchen. It's small. It's tight. It's cramped. If something happens, if Mr. White, or whatever you call him, shows up, Mr. Whiteout, how is he going to get out? So I do like his situational awareness.
I don't think I'm going to go too deep into this because it's very maze-like, and I don't want to get lost and not be able to get back outside. Little painting. It's beautiful. Yeah, I should get out of here.
Did you? Nah. Y'all listen to that.
Yeah, I should get out of here.
Yeah, go. Get.
At this point, it was getting pretty dark, and I was 3 hours from home. I had a little fun on the way to the next location, and then, I don't know what I was thinking, because it started to get dark out. Woo! It's like I lost 2 hours of my time.
Come on down to Guppy's Ice Cream. You'll free some now.
I mean, is something possessing him to do this stuff? And I don't mean like a literal demonic possession. Sitting there playing with fucking shopping carts, losing time. The fuck is going on?
I deserve ice cream.
Like, I was playing with my radio and acting like an idiot. It's too late to walk back.
Nope.
Like an idiot. It's too late to walk back.
Yep. Yeah. What up, Mr. Whiteout? I assume that's Mr. Whiteout. Fattening up for the sacrifice. He's staying at the mall. Mr. Whiteout. He's clearly in some sort of house. So he found another house to get into. And Mr. Whiteout's obviously different than the Nesters, or at least because he seems more like a shadow person or something. So there's multiple monsters. You don't think that's Mr. Whiteout? You don't think that's Mr. Whiteout? Why not? I mean, we don't have any indication it could be anything else. And did he just not notice it? It's like he's entranced.
I was lucky. Some of the towns I passed through still had working electricity.
What if he is a Nester and that's what Nesters experience? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, that was dark black. What are you talking about? Yeah, Carrymon, that was dark black. Hold on.
Lucky. It's too late to walk back.
So you got the body. He's hunched down, right? He's hunched down. And it seems like there must be another. No. Ignore this. The white. Ignore that. That's like camera artifacting or something. You've got this guy hunched over. And what might be like another body here, or Maybe Mr. Whiteout is a... Yeah, you're damn right you're mistaken. No, you're good, homie. Maybe Mr. Whiteout is a previous version of him, like a recording within a recording. That would be wild. Some fucking analog horror Inception shit.
I was lucky. Some of the towns I passed through still had working electricity. I assume they were connected to some industrial-sized power center that hadn't yet failed. When I got far from the cities, the darkness was pretty blinding. I hadn't seen a landmark in over an hour, and, you know, out of the darkness now, it appeared. It wasn't ideal, but I needed shelter.
Is dude staying at a fucking jungle gym? I keep walking, bro. Ain't no protection here. You're hungry. You haven't... Well, I guess you did eat the ice cream, but that, I mean, that's not going to stick with you very long. That's not nutrient dense. That's empty calories. But again, we don't know if he's in his right mind. He seemed like he was possessed to go in that ice cream shop.
At any moment, I could have run into a nester, so I had to do something.
Oh! That made me... I was reading chat, and then I look over, and it's coming at... That one got me. That got me.
Shelter. At any moment, I could have run into a nester.
Yeah. So obviously he knows what nesters are at this point. He knows what nesters are, but again, these are edited out of sequence. I don't know what's going on here. And yeah, white mask. Nude Ultraman. Good point. That made me jump, guy. I won't lie. That did genuinely make me jump. Like, we're looking at chat, and then I turned to look back at the TV right when he says Nesters, and it was crawling at... Good moment.
So I had to do something.
Let's see how that thing moves a bit better.
Shelter. At any moment, I could have run into a nester.
It's almost like he's got a Groucho Marx face. Yo, this thing creepy as fuck, dude. Like, it is the uncanniness of the face is creepy as fuck, bro.
So I had to do something. So I slept inside the enclosed slide. It was not comfortable, but it worked. When I woke, I continued on my travels. The last place I visited was the taxidermy house. It used to be a family attraction. Walking through it now, I kept mistaking the stillness for life. Everything looked alive, but it wasn't. Just empty form.
Dude, you are by yourself for God knows how long at this point. You enter this taxidermy house, you're seeing all this. That gotta fuck with your mental. That absolutely gotta fuck with your mental. I could not imagine this. Like, this is the last place you want to go. Hate the smell of taxidermy places. I've never been in one. Unless you count, like Bass Pro or something. You know what I use right now? More creepy shit. To the taxidermy house. Yeah, right? Well, no, it's been more than 3 days. Because he said at the very beginning of the video, this is day 4.
Stuffed with microfiber.
Hello, Mammoth. Don't worry. Not gonna take your little cub or whatever you call it. Hello.
I don't know if it would be a calf or not. I don't know what you call a baby mammoth. Shit, now you make me gotta look this up. Now you make me gotta look this up. Hold on. Do you call a baby mammoth? Shit, it is a calf. Well, I'll be damned, you Alpha Omega. Well fucking done. A baby mammoth is a calf. I had no fucking idea.
Hey, there's some guys doing some work over here. I feel like this guy would really hate me if he was alive.
I mean, he did go on a commie speech earlier, so honestly, probably. You'll rarely see that, guys. A self-aware commie. My search history is wild. Yeah, I saw that lesbian thing. I was wondering what that was. Hold on. I'm actually curious as well. What do you call... Oh, we're... Lesbian with braces. This is a suggested search. All right? This is not something I've searched before. It doesn't have the little clock there. It's a suggested search. Although I am curious. A box cutter. Y'all are ruining the atmosphere. Okay? You're ruining the atmosphere. I'm gonna be real, guys. This is creepier than the Nesters. This is creepier than the Nesters.
Okay, I think we're leaving the jungle. What is this, like aquatic world or something? One little room for the entire ocean.
Y'all heard that, right, though?
What is this, like aquatic world or something?
There's something there. It reminds me of Archive 81. I don't think I've seen Archive 81. What was that sound, though? No, what was that sound?
One little room for the entire ocean. That's pretty generous. Ooh, Model T. Wouldn't mind taking this puppy out for a spin. Alright, I'm gonna get going.
As I walked home, I thought about nesters. I really don't know much about them. I thought about nesters.
Yo, what is up with their faces, dude? Like, is it a mask? Is it some sort of infection? Why is it like George Floyd? Well, obviously they're not humans, at least not anymore, if they once were. No, that's not an animal mask. I mean, unless you could count black people as animals, because that's pretty big nose and lips. But, like, I don't think it's a mask. I think that's their face.
Really don't know much about them. Only that they can shift from calm to hostile in seconds. Only that they can shift from calm.
All right. Why would you be around them? Yo, look at that one's fucking face, dude. Like, all their faces are similarly masked, disfigured. I don't know, but they have to be people. Like, they're humanoid. They had to have been people first. Their faces look, yeah, bloated's a good word. Yeah, bloated is a good word. There's something about them that made him choose the word nesters. That's a good point. Like, well, and they're not out just shuffling around, right? Anytime we've seen him out and about on the go, they're not just out. They're not. So maybe like we also only see them at night or in dark places. We only see them at night or dark places. So maybe they're nesters because they nest somewhere specific during the day and only move about at night, or again in dark locations. That would be my guess.
Seconds. Once they settle somewhere, infestation usually follows.
Okay, well I guess that answers that. We were over here. Yeah, that answers that.
I've encountered that. They look human, but something is off about them. Something is just not normal. I'm glad to be back home in front of this warm fire with this mug of hot cocoa. I didn't find anyone, no, but maybe tomorrow I'll head south towards the water. Anyway.
All right. Let me check something. So here's what we're going to do. There's 2 more left, but one of them is a full-on, straight-up half an hour. So we're going to save the last 2 for next week. Oh, man, this one is interesting. Nothing really scary is happening, but it's so unsettling. No dead bodies everywhere. Mysterious. Yeah. So before we go, let's put together what we know. Before we go anywhere, let's put together what we know that we have like coming fresh next week. So he wakes up. He's the last dude. He clearly has some sort of history of prepping or military. He's an off-the-grid, well-reasoned guy. At least as well-reasoned as a commie can be. Never bought a cell phone. He knows all these survivalist techniques. Seems like he was really happy the world was over. But why is it just him? Where are the bodies? Where did the nesters come from? Mr. Whiteside, or whatever his name is, doesn't seem like he's a nester. He is something totally different. Like, earlier someone said, I think it was Jake, that it's almost like he was that our main character here was chosen for something. He's incredibly calm about this whole thing. Some places have power, others don't. I feel like this is a test of some sort. It's feeling a bit metaphorical. Yes, I definitely get the vibe of there's metaphors to this, but I also think it's literal. I think my guess so far is that he is part of some sort of test. Because we know at some point, yeah, the calm demeanor is surely a clue. Like, this is all perfectly normal for him. Right. I mean, if he's a prepper, this is what he's been training for his whole fucking life. He also doesn't, like, carry a gun. I don't think he's I don't think he's a prepper now that I think about it. If he was a prepper, he wouldn't, he wouldn't have to travel out. He wouldn't be traveling without supplies. He says he's back at his house. He would have everything he needs at his house. So it doesn't seem like he was prepped for this. Yeah, it's been 81 days, so at this point he's pretty used to sightings. That's true. I think we're just gonna, maybe he's just a stoner. I mean, that's also a possibility. So my theories so far, and I could be wrong, and hopefully we'll find out next week. I don't actually know if this is finished. The most recent episode was from a month ago. So I don't know if this is finished. We might end up. Let's see one. I can't for sure tell if it's real or not. So I think this was some sort of government test, some sort of op. He didn't make it. They recovered his footage afterwards, spliced it all together, and this is what we got. I think there's more coming too, Serranos. I think there's more coming too. But I think that's where we're going to end it. We're going about an hour and a half. SNH went a bit later than normal, so I don't have as late as normal. But this was awesome. Let me see if anybody's live to raid into. I liked this one. I'm very curious to see where this one will go. I'm very curious to see where this one will go. I think we found a good one, crew. I think we found a good one. Let's raid Mama Akko. Gonna raid my girl/boy, however you prefer, Mama Akko. Want y'all to say Vital Idol Raid in Mama Akko's chat. Thank you all so much for the donos. Welcome back to Analog Horror Nights. Like I said, couldn't do it last week because Florida. But we are back. I will see y'all then. Make sure to tell Mama Akko Vital Idol Raid. Again, thank you for the donos. I will see y'all maybe with a video tomorrow. Sunday, I don't know. No stream, though. So I will certainly see you guys for Countercast with me and Cinevere on Monday. And until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.